Welcome to the Fear Files. Here, we don't just tell stories, we uncover them, from chilling true crimes to unsolved mysteries that haunt history, from urban legends whispered in the dark to haunted places where shadows still linger. This is the archive of fear, where every case opens a door to the unknown. Some stories have explanations, others defy reason. And tonight, we turn our attention to one of the ocean's most terrifying enigmas, a place where planes vanish, ships disappear, and silence is the only witness. This is the Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle. Few places on Earth carry such a heavy weight of myth, fear, and unanswered questions, stretching across the Atlantic Ocean. This enigmatic region is roughly bound by 3 points: Miami, Florida; San Juan, Puerto Rico; and the island of Bermuda itself. Within these invisible borders lies a vast expanse of sea that has been responsible for some of the most baffling disappearances in modern history. Sailors whisper about it, pilots dread flying over it, and storytellers keep its legend alive, weaving tales of ships that vanish without distress calls, of planes that never reach their destinations, and of entire crews swallowed by silence. It is a place where fact and folklore blur, creating an oceanic graveyard with no visible tombstones. The legend of the Bermuda Triangle is not a new invention. Stories of its strange phenomena date back centuries. Christopher Columbus, during his first voyage to the New World in 1492, reported bizarre events in the very waters that would later be known as the Devil's Triangle. He wrote in his logs about strange lights dancing on the horizon, his compass malfunctioning, and sudden, unexplainable changes in the sea and sky. To some, these were simple misunderstandings of natural events, but to others, they were the first recorded signs that something about these waters defies the ordinary. Over the centuries, as shipping routes expanded and aviation technology evolved, the mystery only deepened. Hundreds of vessels have crossed through these waters without incident, yet the Bermuda Triangle's reputation grows stronger with each unexplained loss. What makes this particular area of the ocean so captivating is not just the number of disappearances, but the circumstances surrounding them. Calm seas when ships fail to arrive, clear skies when planes fall out of communication, entire crews vanishing without a single distress call or scrap of wreckage left behind. Some skeptics argue that the Bermuda Triangle is a myth fueled by sensationalist stories, exaggerated by books, television, and movies. They point out that statistically, the number of accidents in the triangle is not dramatically higher than in other heavily traveled parts of the ocean. But statistics cannot erase the chilling radio transmissions of pilots who sound lost and terrified, or the reality of ships like the USS Cyclops, which disappeared with over 300 men aboard without a trace. The skepticism itself becomes part of the mystery. If this is nothing unusual, why do so many stories converge on the same patch of ocean? Why has this region captured the imagination of the world for decades? The geography of the Bermuda Triangle also adds to its ominous aura. Beneath its surface lies some of the deepest parts of the Atlantic, trenches and undersea mountains, where wreckage could easily vanish forever. Strong ocean currents flow unpredictably, capable of carrying debris thousands of miles away from where it sank. Storms can rise with little warning, and the tropical climate often shifts rapidly from calm to chaos. For navigators of the past, these waters were a nightmare to chart, and even with modern GPS, the triangle holds an uneasy reputation. Pilots and sailors may not speak of it openly, but many feel the tension when passing through. Culturally, the Bermuda Triangle has become more than just a geographical location. It is a symbol of the unknown, a reminder that despite our technology, there are forces in nature and mysteries in our world that remain outside human control. It is the kind of place where imagination thrives, where theories of alien abductions, time warps, and underwater civilizations coexist alongside scientific research into magnetic anomalies and rogue waves. The triangle has become a canvas for fear itself, a stage upon which humanity projects its deepest anxieties about the sea, the sky, and the darkness of the unknown. In this first chapter, we set the stage not just for a series of accidents, but for a legend that continues to grow with each retelling. The Bermuda Triangle is not simply a place, it is a story in motion, a mystery that refuses to be solved, and a reminder that, even in the modern world, there are still shadows that science cannot completely illuminate. As we step deeper into its history, we move from whispered folklore to chillingly real disappearances, each one reinforcing the reputation of these waters as the most dangerous and inexplicable on Earth. December 5, 1945. The war had ended just months earlier, and the U.S. Navy was training new pilots over the warm waters of Florida. On that day, 5 Grumman Avenger torpedo bombers, collectively known as Flight 19, took off from Fort Lauderdale. Their mission was routine, a simple navigation exercise that would have them fly east into the Atlantic, turn north, and then return west toward base. None of the men expected danger. The weather was fair, the planes were in good condition, and the training was considered straightforward. Yet, within hours, Flight 19 became one of the greatest aviation mysteries of all time. Radio transmissions captured their confusion. The squadron leader, Lieutenant Charles Taylor, sounded increasingly disoriented. "We can't be sure of our position," he said. "Everything looks strange. Even the ocean doesn't look like it should." The pilots reported that their compasses were malfunctioning, spinning aimlessly, refusing to lock onto north. Attempts by ground control to redirect them failed. The planes seemed trapped in a maze of endless sea. As the hours dragged on, the pilots grew desperate. Fuel was running low. In their final chilling messages, they admitted they could no longer find west, no longer knew where they were. Then silence. The 5 planes, along with 14 crewmen, vanished into thin air. The Navy immediately dispatched a massive rescue effort, including a Martin Mariner flying boat with 13 men aboard. Incredibly, that rescue plane also disappeared just minutes after takeoff. Witnesses reported seeing a massive fireball in the sky where the aircraft was last tracked, but no wreckage was ever recovered. By the end of the day, 6 planes and 27 men were gone. The Navy's official investigation offered no solid explanation. The disappearance was attributed vaguely to causes or reasons unknown. Some blamed Taylor for getting lost, but his confusion seemed tied to something greater than human error. How could multiple planes lose their bearings at the same time? Why did their instruments fail so completely? And why was no wreckage ever found, despite an intensive search? Flight 19 became the cornerstone of the Bermuda Triangle legend. It wasn't just the loss of planes, but the haunting radio messages of men lost in an ocean that suddenly felt unfamiliar, alien. Their words echo through history, as if spoken from another world. "We can't find west. Everything is wrong. We can't be sure of anything." The Bermuda Triangle's reputation didn't begin with Flight 19. Decades earlier, in March 1918, the U.S. Navy experienced its single largest non-combat loss of life at sea. The vessel was the USS Cyclops, a massive collier ship, longer than 2 football fields, designed to carry coal and supplies for the fleet. With over 300 men aboard, it departed from Barbados bound for Baltimore. The ship never arrived. What makes the Cyclops so haunting is the complete absence of evidence. There was no distress call, no SOS message, no flighties. In an age when radio communication was already advanced, the silence was deafening. Weeks of search operations scoured the Atlantic, but found nothing, not even a floating piece of debris. For a ship of that size to vanish without a trace was, and still is, nearly unthinkable. Theories swirled immediately. Some suggested a German U-boat attack, since World War I was still raging, yet no records support this claim. Others pointed to structural flaws in the Cyclops, which was said to have engine trouble. But even if the ship sank suddenly, why didn't anyone manage to signal for help? And how could such a massive vessel leave behind no wreckage at all? The disappearance of the Cyclops is often cited as proof that something unnatural lurks within the triangle. Ships have sunk before, but rarely. Do they vanish so completely, without oil slicks, floating cargo, or boaties washing ashore? It was as if the ocean itself swallowed the vessel whole, sealing away the lives of 300 men in silence. Adding to the mystery, two of the Cyclops' sister ships, the Proteus and the Nereus, also disappeared in later years under strange circumstances, while traveling similar routes. Three colossal ships, linked by design, gone without explanation. Coincidence, or a pattern tied to the cursed waters of the triangle? The Bermuda Triangle has inspired countless theories, ranging from the rationale to the fantastical. Scientists often stress that the region is not statistically more dangerous than any other heavily traveled ocean corridor. But for each attempt to debunk the legend, new theories arise. One explanation focuses on magnetic anomalies. The Earth's magnetic field is not uniform, and the triangle is one of the few places where compasses point to true north instead of magnetic north. This anomaly could confuse navigators, especially in the era before modern GPS, leading to disastrous mistakes. However, critics argue that experienced pilots and sailors should not be so easily fooled. Another popular theory involves methane hydrates trapped beneath the seafloor. Under certain conditions, these gas deposits could erupt violently, reducing the density of the water and causing ships to lose buoyancy and sink almost instantly. Methane could also rise into the air, causing engines to fail. While possible, in theory, there is little hard evidence linking methane eruptions to triangle disasters. Then, there are rogue waves. Massive walls of water that can reach over 100 feet high. These freak waves have been documented worldwide and are powerful enough to destroy even large ships. The Bermuda Triangle, with its volatile weather patterns and intersecting currents, could be a breeding ground for such waves. Yet rogue waves do not explain why so many disappearances leave no wreckage. Beyond science, the theories turn darker. Some believe the triangle is a portal to another dimension, a place where time and space fold in on themselves. Victims are not destroyed, but transported somewhere else, another world, another timeline. Others suggest links to extraterrestrial activity, with UFOs abducting ships and planes for unknown purposes. And then there is the legend of Atlantis, the lost civilization said to lie beneath the waves. Its ancient technology disrupting passing vessels, whether scientific or supernatural. No single theory explains all the cases. Some disappearances have been solved, attributed to storms, human error, or mechanical failure, but others remain untouched by reason, resisting explanation. And it is those unresolved cases that keep the Bermuda Triangle alive in the world's imagination, hovering between science and myth. The Bermuda Triangle today is not as dangerous as legend suggests. Thousands of ships and planes cross the region safely every year. Airlines run regular routes through it, and cruise ships carry millions of passengers across its waters without incident. But the stories endure, because the mysteries remain unsolved. The legend survives, not in statistics, but in memory, in the chilling words of lost pilots, in the silence of vanished ships. In the absence of answers, the triangle has become a cultural phenomenon, inspiring books, documentaries, movies, and endless speculation. It is both a geographical location and a psychological one, a symbol of humanity's fear of the sea, of the unknown, of forces beyond control. We may never know what really happened to Flight 19, or the USS Cyclops, or the countless other vessels lost to these waters. The ocean guards its secrets well, and the Bermuda Triangle remains its most secretive chamber. Yet perhaps that is why the mystery endures. In an age where satellites map every corner of the Earth and science explains almost everything, the Bermuda Triangle defies certainty. It reminds us that the world is not fully conquered, that the ocean still holds shadows where reason falters. For some, this is terrifying. For others, it is exhilarating, a reminder that wonder still exists. As night falls over the Atlantic, the waters of the Triangle look no different than any other sea. But for those who dare to enter, every ripple, every gust of wind, every flicker of the compass carries weight. Will they emerge unscathed, or will they join the countless souls who vanished into the deep? Until the day the last mystery is solved, the Bermuda Triangle will remain what it has always been, a place of fear, fascination, and eternal questions. A reminder that sometimes, the most terrifying stories are not those we invent, but those written by the ocean itself.